Welcome to Stay Tuned Garage. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be replacing this here front motor mount on my 1996 Honda Accord. Alright, so the motor mount we are replacing today is the front motor mount. So it actually sits right down there. Let me see if I can... You can see it right there, and it connects to the engine through this little bracket. So you have to remove those three 14mm bolts. And it has a 17mm bolt that goes from this bracket through the motor mount. So what you do first is you remove this bracket, and then you will have access to all the bolts on the motor mount. Then you just go ahead and swap it out, put the new one in, and put the bracket back in, and you're good to go. Alright, so first thing you got to do is remove this connector here, undo that, and then take this off from the little slider. And those are for your O2 sensor, which is right there. And then I already went ahead and cracked all these 14mm bolts, but you go ahead and remove those, and then I will go ahead and show you guys what you do from there once I'm there. Alright, so we went ahead and removed the three bolts that hold that bracket on, and then the little clip. And one thing I noticed as I was doing that is this bracket moves around freely. It's not supposed to do that because it's still bolted onto the motor mount. And that's why I'm replacing it, because it's shot. So right now here is the motor mount, the new one that's going in. So you can see this thing is solid pretty much, and that bracket is still has a bolt through here holding it. So even if it was holding onto this, it still shouldn't be allowed to move freely like that. That means that there's basically no motor mount in here. It's just, yeah. Alright, so now what we have to do is get a 17mm bolt, or 17mm ratchet, and get it. Man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get you guys in there, but let me see. I want to try to focus down there. As you can see, kind of right. If I get my finger out of there, maybe it'll focus on it. But it's that part right there, that little bolt, 17mm. Hard to get you guys in there, but you have to go ahead and crack that off, and that is the bolt that's going through the motor mount. And once you get that off, this whole little bracket here will just come right out. So I already went ahead and cracked the bolt that goes down into the motor mount, and since I showed you guys how flimsy this thing was because the motor mount is shot, so what I had to do is actually get these two, put them back in just so it was sturdy enough so that I can actually crack the bolt, because otherwise it would just flex. The whole motor mount would just flex and I wouldn't be able to do anything. And another thing, on this side where you actually take it off, it's very limited on space. So right now, I already cracked it a while ago. I've been going turn by turn, like one click at a time. So just be patient, keep getting it out, and just persevere, and you'll get it out eventually. Alright, so I went ahead and got the bolt that goes through the motor mount. That is how it looks there. So, and I went ahead and took the two that I had put back in. So this should, in theory, let me see if I can, yeah, there we go. In theory, this should come, yep, straight out, just like that. So these two connect to the engine there. I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. And then down here, this is where the motor mount sits. So here's my brand new motor mount. So this is going to sit like that, I believe, right in there, and then that is going to go through there. And this connects to the subframe. So basically what this motor mount does is it reduces all the vibrations and of the engine to the cabin, or to the car, and it keeps the engine in place. So if you don't have this in, or if this is shot, then your engine is gonna sit weird, or it's gonna move in weird ways, which could potentially damage other parts in the drivetrain and just in your car in general. So yeah. Now down here, let me see, get that to focus. I'm pretty sure, yep, I can just go in here and take the insides of the motor mount out. So yeah, look at that. So that's what goes inside of the motor mount. So now what we have to do is in here there are 3 17mm bolts. You can see all of them on the screen. There's one in the bottom left, bottom right, and one in the top middle. So just go ahead and remove those. They're all 17mm. Put the new motor mount in, and you do everything backwards. Alright, I went ahead and got the old motor mount off. I got the 3 bolts right here, and precaution, very hard to take off. It doesn't seem like it, but if you look down here, very limited amount of space to get in and do things. I removed the heat shield for no reason. I just wanted to do that for fun, but I actually had to go to the store and buy a 20-inch extension, half-inch drive, because all my 3/8 seemed like it wanted to break. So yeah, so as you can see there, that's what I had fabbed up, or that's what I had to remove it, and it did not work at all. But yeah, so breaker bar, half-inch, and came off just fine. So now basically you just go ahead and put everything back in and bolt everything back up in the order you took it off, and should be good to go. Right now my car is extremely hot though, since I legit drove to the store to buy this without the motor mount in there, and it's very hot. I had to go to 2 different stores to find something long enough. Walmart apparently doesn't carry anything this long. They only got 5 inchers, and I wasn't about to buy 4 of them. So I just went to Home Depot, bought a 20-inch, used that, and I'll probably go return it after this. Alright, so I got the new motor mount in, and one very big tip: don't do this right after driving your car. It is so very hot in this engine bay, especially trying to snake your hand in there to put the bolts in. I burnt myself a couple of times. Not bad burns, but it just hurt. So yeah, so now I got that in. Now we're just gonna go ahead and put this guy back on, and put this guy on, just mock it on, and put this long bolt through, and then we will be one step closer. And pretty much once you get this part done, that's the hard part. Everything after that is easy. Alright, so here we are, and it is actually the next day. So what I did to be able to line these up properly is I went ahead and came down under the vehicle. I jacked it up in the oil pan with a wood block in between so it doesn't crack the oil pan. Alright, so I used the jack to jack up the engine and put it in the proper position where it's supposed to sit, and then I did that, and I was only able to line up these 2 holes, or those 2 bolts. So what I did for the last one, that one was a lot harder to line up, especially when the engine was hot yesterday. That's why I waited till today to let it cool down and work on it, because I got kind of mad when I kept burning myself on the manifold. But yeah, so what I did in order to line that one up is I got that 20-inch extension from yesterday, and I put it in between this bracket and the motor mount down there, and I pried on it just to line it up. So you can see down there, I just put in between there, and I just kind of pulled this whole bracket. I pried on it just to shift it a little bit that way in order to line up that hole. I got it in, I got it to thread in. Now all I do is simply bolt them up, get them all tight, really tight, and then good to go.